Hey, what's up? This is Air Conditioning here. It's time for another 5 techwear brands video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I've picked out a couple of brands that cover a whole range within the techwear spectrum and at a bunch of different price ranges as well. So hopefully there's going to be something in here regardless of what your techwear preference is. I don't think I've mentioned any of these brands at all before, so there should be some new stuff in here. And yeah, as I say, something for everyone. Let's get straight into number 1. The first one on the list is Dorise Aron, which is a really bizarre name, but I put this one first because it's potentially going to be quite an interesting one for a lot of you guys watching. It really has that traditional, typical tech ninja kind of style. They're a Taiwanese brand, and although I haven't really heard much consumer feedback, they seem to pop up on Instagram fairly regularly, involved in some pretty archetypal tech ninja outfits. The big advantage here though is the price. Everything on their website is listed in new Taiwan dollars, so I did a little conversion, and it works out pretty cheap. You'll find a jacket here for about £80, which is something like $110, $115, and it pretty much works down from there. So everything on their catalogue is really pretty affordable. For that price, of course, material quality is not going to be the same as those tried and tested more premium techwear options, although the jacket does have a 3-layer construction of some kind, which for that kind of price is about as good as you can expect. And there will be some kind of breathability and water resistant performance, although not sure how good exactly that's going to be. It also comes with a jacket sling, so yeah, pretty decent. I'd also recommend checking out the pants for this brand. I think that those are particularly nice. Some of them are out of stock at the moment, but there's one pair, this kind of cropped, slightly wide sort of look, which I quite like. Very reminiscent of one of the Gorilla Group pairs that are available right now. I think the PL02, something like that. To be honest, that's one of the criticisms I would make of this brand, is that it leans too heavily on its influences like Gorilla Group. You'll notice quite a lot of the things from this brand are kind of like a watered down version of Gorilla Group stuff, and very similar to other brands like 0608 and those other kind of mid-range tech-weary sort of brands. Due to the language options on their website, I'm not exactly sure of the ordering process outside Taiwan, but this brand has a good combination of techwear styled stuff, which is going to be up a lot of people's street, and pretty affordable pricing as well. And so long as you're not expecting any super unique looks that you can't get anywhere else, or really premium quality, then I think this is going to be a winning combination. Next up is something completely different. This is little known designer Prada. Okay, so you've probably heard of these guys before, but perhaps not in the context of techwear, and specifically their Prada Sport line. I'd forgive you for that. In the past, I've written them off and put them in the same kind of category as Louis Vuitton, Gucci, those kinds of flex brands which perhaps don't offer that much over and above their branding and prestige. Their sport line contains many technical performance infused pieces with a luxury finish, things like bags, sneakers, jackets as well. And if you look back into the archives, there's some really interesting stuff from previous Prada and Prada Sport collections as well. So I would keep an eye on both new releases and things from the current collection, and on places like Grailed as well, to see if you can pick up some of that older stuff. And particularly looking at those prices, which of course for a brand like Prada are going to be very high. You're looking at upwards of £500–600 for a pair of sneakers, for example, then it's definitely worth having a look back at those vintage pieces and seeing if you can pick up anything nice from a very premium and very luxury brand at a little bit of a lower cost. In general, this is a more refined style. It's different to that tech ninja kind of gear, but perhaps more suitable to mix with high-end fashion stuff or a more work-ready or work-appropriate kind of attire. So if you're into those high-end designer brands, but then want to infuse your wardrobe with some technical performance, or perhaps the other way around, you're into your techwear gear, but are now looking to those high fashion and premium brands, then Prada is probably one of the best brands to experiment with. Final Home is a bit of an interesting one. They're a Japanese brand taking very strong inspiration from dystopian themes from low-life society. Perhaps one of their standout, most famous pieces is a jacket which is full of pockets designed to use trash as insulation. Unless you're going all in on derelict, that might not be that wearable, but there's a lot of pieces out there which will fit into more standard Techwear wardrobes as well. There's quite a few different Parker models which are definitely worth taking a look at. They've also had some design input and collaborations with the legendary Issey Miyake, so there is a big name behind this brand. Unfortunately, they have not been producing new clothes since 2015, so your only bet for this stuff is looking on Grailed, Facebook groups, perhaps even somewhere like the Techwear clothing subreddit as well. Expect to pay a couple of $100s for a jacket from these guys, and although there's not very many 10 out of 10 condition pieces floating around, because many of the often traded things are from back in the archives and can be up to 20 years old, this is definitely a brand which suits this worn-in look, so that's not as bad as it could be. All in all, it's a very cool, very grungy kind of look, and it's certainly the brand of choice for apocalypse survivors. US brand ISAORA have been around since 2009, creating performance gear. A lot of the focus of this brand has been on outerwear, but they do some other things as well. Their current collection is a little bit more sober than a lot of the other things in this video. Quite a lot of minimalism, quite a lot of clean lines as well. Although even here, there are a few pieces that mix that up. For example, this two-piece set, which uses some very prominent three-dimensional floating pockets right on the front of the jacket and the pants. Retail prices are pretty high, but there seems to be a site-wide sale going on at the moment which reduces things to a far more sensible level, and in fact that jacket there with the floating pockets, that comes in at just over £100, maybe $130 kind of price, which is pretty palatable. I'm not sure how frequently ISAORA stuff is traded online, but if you have a look back through some previous collections, you'll find some interesting pieces that take on high-tech activewear and athleisure gear quite nicely, and there's some cool little asymmetrical jackets and some other very typical classy Techwear kind of pieces. And finally, number 5, a brand that's been mentioned to me quite a few times, Machine 56. This hails from Indonesia, which seems to be the place of manufacture for those affordable Techwear brands like Holy Grail, Orbit Gear, L House, etc, etc. This is no exception. The stuff is fairly cheap. You'll pay about $140 for a jacket, but that comes at the cost of extremely heavy branding. This really takes the cyberpunk, Asian, futuristic kind of wear to the absolute limit, and things are really plastered with logos and decals and stuff. If you're into that look, that's fine, and in fact these things are going to be pretty perfect for you, but I feel like there's going to be a big trade-off here in material quality, performance, and the fit of these pieces. And in fact, if you go back past their most recent jackets, you'll see some pretty suspect looking stuff. So it's fair to say their newer stuff is certainly their best. Weirdly, these guys don't only make clothes though, they have these very cool, weird looking customized helmets, which come in at a very, very high price unfortunately, but as a decorative piece for a kind of cyberpunk comic book universe display item, I think these are really cool. You're probably not going to want to pop out to the shops wearing one of those, but as a display piece, or if you're shooting some kind of cool cyberpunk action sequence or something, then yeah, get one of these involved. So there you have it, another 5 Techwear brands to check out. Do let me know down there in the comments which of those is your favourite. I think all of these have value from different perspectives and are going to appeal to different people for sure. So I think there's going to be a lot of contrasting opinions here. It would be great to pick up some of this stuff as well for a full review, so let me know if there's anything in particular that you want to see and I'll do my best to make that happen. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, and of course I'll be back next week with the next one. So until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Puma? Puma? Puma. Shout out to the complexion. I would really like to do a wardrobe tour, so that's definitely on the cards. What I need to work out though is a decent way of filming it, because I can't just do it from here, I need to move it over there a little bit. So once I've got a decent way that I can actually show off that stuff, then yeah, I'm going to do that. If you like this video, you want to catch some more, there's going to be some little buttons up there that you can click on, if I remember to do so and if they've actually loaded. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then please consider doing so, it's super helpful. All you got to do, hit that little button over on the side, and you'll be subscribed forever. You can check out those new videos about Techwear and fashion as soon as they come out.